Hey there, welcome back to High Infidelity, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to channel for more spicy stories. Now, let's get into today's story video. Parents want us to reconcile. My closest friend's wife informed me about 4 months ago that my wife and her husband are having an affair. My SDBXW was cautious. He didn't think so. OBS provided me with a plethora of evidence, including and photographs. I was stunned when I found out the affair had been going on for years. Call records and messages go back to when I was still working 16-hour days to get my engineering degree, including evenings when the girls were supposed to be out and I was at home minding kids. Her pals were all cheating on their spouses and covering for one another. OBS chose to reconcile only because to a lack of financial resources to leave AP. I made the decision to quit my WS. I hired a lawyer and devised a strategy before approaching her. I threw my WS out of my home, changed the locks, divided the finances, and served her papers after I got all I needed. She had no claim to the home, and I had movers deliver her belongings to her parents. She's been struggling since we broke up. She's had to move in with college-age housemates and begin working 2 jobs. My parents and her parents intervened today, urging us to reconcile for the sake of the children. The children are okay. They are with me 90% of the time. Our parents have been listening to her sob tales as she tries to downplay the fact that she was banging my best buddy the whole time. She's so sorry, so it's okay. They were furious at the manner I publicly exposed her affair and evicted her. They described it as immature and spiteful. Furthermore, despite being acquainted with the OBS and her family for almost a decade, they believe that my continued communication with her is improper. They even accused us of having an inappropriate relationship, despite the fact that they had no evidence of anything slightly wrong. We're not having any. We're not kissing each other. We're not in a relationship. We watch each other's children, converse over coffee, and trade favors. If her kids remain. For supper a couple times a week while she's in class, I save her a plate of food. I'm the only family OBS has in our state since her family abandoned her when her husband was arrested and sentenced to jail for with minors, including OBS' underage cousin, and embezzling money from real estate investors immediately after he was exposed for infidelity. I'm completely taken aback. I've been devastated and deceived again. Despite the fact that I've informed her it's over and tried to avoid touch, she simply can't take no for an answer and now has everyone on her side. I'm not going to take her back. She's simply sad she was found, that her AP wants to go to jail, and that she lost all that money. She's not sorry for deceiving me for years while treating me like an idiot. I toiled for years to provide a decent life for her and myself, and then I got SHT on. She'd still be FCking him in a hotel room or on his vehicle if his wife hadn't caught her. My SDBXW also made the charges that OBS outed her in order to get vengeance and take her life. My WS is now saving herself for the day when I will take her back. OBS' life has been a complete train disaster. Dip's assets T's had been taken, leaving her and her children impoverished and on the verge of homelessness. I've done enough to ensure that doesn't happen. She has lost the majority of her family as a result of this. None of this was her fault, and she was as taken aback as I was. Throughout it all, she's been a great friend and confidant. Story 2. Cheated on by wife. Left for another guy. She still texts me frequently and cries to me how I'm doing better than her and how it's not fair. This is my first Reddit post, so I'll try my best. I don't know all of the acronyms yet, but I'm working on it. If my writing and tales seem disjointed, it's because I'm writing from the top of my brain, ideas, and feelings right now. Sorry. To begin, I am 31 years old male, and my wife is 28 years old female. We have 2 children, ages 7 and 5. My wife requested a divorce on August 27, 2020. She departed that day and was reportedly staying with her mother. The next day, I get texts from her cousin claiming that she has been cheating on me. Wife maintains she has never done so up to this point. We met a week later to perform a Zoom meeting on her phone to meet our son's instructor online. She receives a Facebook message that says, "Only a few hours, eggplant emoji, peach emoji, sweat emoji." I asked her after the meeting if she could clarify it, and she replied she didn't want to speak about it and that she had already erased the texts. She claimed it was one of her pals, since my wife was out on a date and apparently girlfriends get thrilled for one other and believe they're going to get banged, which I definitely did not believe. I became enraged and urged her to go. She informed me she was bringing the kids to another city to see her grandparents and go swimming for Thanksgiving, which is in October. For us in Canada. She ended up lying and went to a hotel with our kids and this person she allegedly cheated on me with. The automobile engine broke up and died on the way back. The automobile she battled me for and still owes about $12,000 on and makes payments on every couple of weeks. This is when I started to believe in karma a little bit more. Between September and November, my wife and I drank and had around 5 or 6 times. I still desired her return and really went have with her. I'm understanding now that she's been seeing this man for quite some time. I discovered photos of them approximately a week and a half ago. I haven't spoken to her since I viewed those photos and verified everything. I really wanted to accept all of her falsehoods, even the blatant ones, so she cheated on me, dumped me for him, and then cheated on him with me. Just 2 weeks ago, before I knew for sure, she came over and we were chatting, and she let me feel her up and gave her a full body massage. I have no idea what's going on in her thoughts right now. Some further information. The kids are okay, my apartment is tidy, and I shed 50 pounds since she left, 235 pounds down to 185 pounds. She's came to my house a number of times and wept to me about how unfair it is that I'm doing so much better than she is. She's complained that it's not fair that I'm doing all of this now, rather than when we were together. On Christmas, she assured me she still loved me and got me presents. Not just trash, but a bottle of sake since she knows how much I want to visit Japan and cook ramen and other Japanese dishes. So she gave it some consideration. I don't intend to be disrespectful, but she doesn't look very nice these days either. She's gained weight and has been heavily involved with drugs and alcohol. She claims to cry all the time. She told me she was depressed with me, left me expecting things would get better, but she is still melancholy, which bothers her. But, as we all know, happiness comes from inside, and she doesn't have any. So, if you abandon me for someone else, be glad about it and make the most of it. She hasn't contacted me in 4 days. This is the longest she has gone without texting me in 4 months. When we were dating, she informed me that if she ever left, I would fail. She predicted that if I began working in a kitchen as a dishwasher, I would never make any friends. Apparently, she forgot how outgoing and friendly I am. All of the waitresses adored me, and I progressed from dishwasher to working in the line to being asked if I wanted to bartend. I was overweight at the time, and my self-esteem and confidence were in shambles, so I didn't pursue a career in bartending. She didn't like how many people ended up like me, particularly the females. Throughout our marriage, anytime my wife and I went out drinking, she would invariably wind up twerking on the wall or the floor and allowing people to videotape her. She flirted with everyone and had several of my close friends convinced that I wanted to do it with her. I don't drink very frequently, but one Halloween I drank too much at a friend's party and ended up passing out and spitting up all over the place. While I was doing that, she was in the restroom with men who were showing her off in exchange for free coke, and who knows what else. But she persuaded me that nothing had occurred, leading me to believe that I was insane and that everyone else was incorrect. Basically, you're gaslighting me. I'm currently seeing a therapist, and I'm discovering that she really simply requires constant attention from other sources. Getting it from her hubby was insufficient. I realize we all have problems, and our marriage was far from flawless. I know I still love and care for her, but I'm not going to be a backup or a second option. I hate comparing my situation to hers, but it helps me feel better right now. I have my own apartment, a dog, happy children, my own car, money, and I'm in university. And even though I feel like utter, I'm going through the feeling so that I can truly move on and attempt to be at peace. Whereas she is living with her mother, has a damaged car, no vehicle, is begging for money from me, and is living on CERB COVID money, is miserable, depressed. Thought the grass was greener and it isn't. She is so scared of being alone with her thoughts that she sometimes sleeps with her mother or the children. She will not go on once I have. I'm not sure whether she'll ever move on since she's stubborn and realizes she made a mistake. Finally, I'm not sure why she cheated and left, but she still texts me, has with me, and tells me how much better I'm doing than she is. It befuddles the intellect. But on the other hand, how can you comprehend someone who doesn't understand themselves? I'm doing great, but some weeks I'm simply so sore. It's as if she ripped my heart out, fractured it, and then smacked the other person on top of the shattered parts. That's the end of the narrative. There's so much more I could say and backstory I could provide, but I believe this is sufficient. Thank you for your time. Please feel free to ask any queries you may have. It's a challenging time to be separated, cheated on, and covet all at the same time.